That's the first line Emily whispered to herself on the cold bathroom floor at 3:17 a.m. If you'd been standing outside her apartment door that night, you might have heard the soft sobs, the ones she buried into a towel so her neighbors wouldn't hear. But no one was there. No one ever was. But by the end of this story, someone will be. This isn't just about groceries or a note. It's about what happens when one stranger decides to care, and how a single gesture can shatter the silence around someone's suffering. Emily had never thought her life would look like this, alone, broke, and invisible. 2 years ago, she was working full-time as a teacher, laughing at inside jokes in the staff room, waking up early for lesson plans, and going out for dinner with friends on Fridays. But life unraveled quickly when her mother, the only family she had left, was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Emily left her job to become a full-time caregiver, believing it would only be for a few months. Those months turned into a year. Her mother passed quietly one November morning, and with her went the last piece of stability Emily had. She had no job to return to, the position had long been filled. Her savings were gone. Her social life had disintegrated. Grief had stolen her spark, and depression kept stealing her days. She lived in a small apartment on the edge of town, barely getting by on temporary unemployment checks and cheap instant noodles. She avoided her neighbors, skipped mail, and only left her apartment late at night to avoid small talk. The world had carried on. She had not. But then came the knock. It was a soft knock, like someone unsure if they should even be there. Emily had been lying on the couch in her worn sweatshirt, covers pulled to her chin though it was a warm April afternoon. She almost didn't move, she hadn't answered her door in weeks. But something tugged at her. She opened it a crack. No one was there. But at her feet, there was a paper bag filled with groceries, fresh fruit, pasta, bread, peanut butter, and a small bottle of hand lotion she recognized from a store she hadn't walked into since her mom's funeral. On top of the bag was a note, folded carefully, her name scribbled in large block letters across the front. She took it inside and unfolded it with shaking hands. I don't know you. But I see you. I live down the hall with my little girl. We've passed you a few times. My daughter said you looked sad. I told her sometimes people carry heavy things we can't see. We wanted you to know, you're not invisible. From one tired human to another, hang in there. Apartment 2B. She read it twice. Then 3 times. She sat on her floor with the groceries untouched beside her and wept like she hadn't wept in months. Not the muffled kind this time, the real, body-shaking kind that cracks something open. That was the first knock. The next day, she wrote a thank you note and slipped it under the door of 2B. She didn't know what to say exactly, so she kept it simple. Thank you. That was the kindest thing anyone's done for me in a long time. I've been struggling. Really struggling. Your note mattered. Emily, 3A. She didn't expect a reply. But she got one. The next day, another knock. A knock this time, not groceries. A small voice on the other side, hi. Emily. She opened the door slowly. A man in his mid-30s stood holding the hand of a little girl who looked to be about 5. He looked nervous, like he didn't want to cross a line. Hi. I'm Sam. This is Lily. We're from 2B. He motioned to the girl, who gave a shy wave. We wanted to say hello. Emily blinked, her mouth dry. She wasn't used to people anymore. But something in Sam's expression was familiar, not pity, not charity, but recognition. The look of someone who'd been through it. They talked awkwardly for a few minutes. Lily asked if she liked coloring books. Sam offered to bring over some leftover lasagna. Emily tried to smile, and for the first time in a long time, it wasn't fake. Over the next few weeks, something shifted. Sam and Lily started knocking more often, sometimes with soup, sometimes just with Lily's drawings. Emily started walking down the hall to 2B every now and then with banana bread or a movie to share. They began trading stories, late-night porch talks, quick text messages, helping each other carry groceries. Sam was a single dad, raising Lily after his wife passed away in childbirth. He knew grief. He knew loneliness. And he knew what it was like to pretend you were fine for the sake of someone small who needed you to be strong. He didn't offer solutions. He just showed up. Again and again. Lily once told Emily she was like a cloud person who turned sunny again. And slowly, Emily did. She started applying for jobs. She cleaned her apartment. She put on real clothes again, even if it was just to take the trash out. The heaviness didn't vanish overnight, but it lightened, because she wasn't carrying it alone anymore. One morning, Emily walked out to her door and found a sticky note taped to it. Lily says you're family now. I agree. Sam. She held that note in her hand for a long time, smiling through tears. Now, if you're watching this and you've ever felt invisible, like no one would notice if you vanished tomorrow, let this story remind you, sometimes, the people who care are closer than you think. They're the neighbor across the hall. The barista who remembers your order. The coworker who sends a random, just checking in, message. And if you're someone who can be that knock, that note, that bag of groceries, don't hesitate. Because that moment, that small act of care, might be the thing that keeps someone holding on, and sometimes, that chance starts with a knock.